have a freak off. I think that's where everyone's getting it messed up. All right. It says Cassie Ventura is back on the stand. Cassie Ventura has returned to the stand in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Do It Combs. Ventura testified this morning and described Combs as controlling and said some of their arguments would get violent. Let's see if Inner City Press has anything back up over here. 1 minute ago, 116, they're back. Judge, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the trial of the United States of America versus Sean Diddy Do It Combs. All right. Who was your manager at Bad Boys Record? Damn, they just getting straight to it. This judge is not playing. 116, so 5 minutes ago. Who was your manager at Bad Boys Records? Cassie said, James Cruz. What did he tell you? That he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back. He had to check everything with Sean. Okay. How did you make money? If your records weren't being released, Ventura said, I did hosting parties when Sean approved, of course. Say, what comments did Sean make about your physical appearance? Ventura said that I look too Mexican with my hair like that. Diddy, you don't like Mexicans? That what you trying to get at, Diddy? That you don't like Mexicans? That's what you're trying to say? Now, if you know, you start piecing together everything that they're doing. Now, there was an interview on Vlad TV with Young Jock where he was explaining when Diddy made Cassie shave off the side of her hair. So it's crazy hearing all of these stories and then watching how they actually align with sworn testimony. You know what I mean? Like you're on the oath telling it like it is. Now, you know, people do lie on the oath, you know, like Young Thug said, you know what I mean? I lied to my baby mama, but tell the truth in court. You know what I mean? When you go to court, you're supposed to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me, G-O-D. All right, so what else do we got here? All right, we're back on it, man. We're just waiting for any updates to see what the heck is happening. Just back on stand. What we got? Says she looked too Mexican. So right now we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. The intense is killing us. Okay, how did you make money? If your records weren't being released, she said she was hosting parties. Diddy had to approve of them. She said that Diddy talked about her physical appearance. She looked too Mexican. He said, how did he like your nails? She said, white, French tipped. He said, well, they said, how about the hair? She said, it varied. I shaved my head in 2009. How about your body? He told me to work out, prepare for the freak offs. How did you feel about his comments? She said it varied. So Diddy was telling her not to get in shape for your physical appearance, for being an artist, for going on the stage, you know, working on your breathing. Diddy allegedly told her, you need to get your body right. You need to get your cardio down. You need to do some hip flexors. You need to get into some yoga. You need to be flexible and prepare for the freak offs. Diddy said, the hell with that music. You already knew Diddy wasn't going to drop no music from her because he signed her to a 10-album deal. Diddy ain't even got 10 good albums. Diddy got like one album that was good. But he said, You need to work out. I need you to get prepared for the freak offs. Now, you remember these freak offs were 4 to 5 days, 50 to 100 bottles of baby oil, dehydration, disorientation, uh, delusional, drugs, liquor, the OG Diddy. So you definitely had to be prepared for this. One day of binge drinking is enough for me. 4 days is crazy. Analysts. Oh, well, we don't care about the analysts. We the analysts. Ventura's manager had one hand tied behind his back. His decisions going through Combs, she says. Cassie said James Cruz, an employee of Bad Boy Records, managed her career after she started dating Sean Diddy Combs. But she added the decisions ultimately came through Combs. His role in managing my career was that he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back, she said of Cruz. She testified that any decision had to go through Combs. So we got that information. Of course, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Modi J. We're covering the Diddy trial. Cassie's on stand for part 2 of the prosecution. What we're doing is we're getting the tweets from Inner City Press, and then we're going over to CNN, and CNN is filling in the blanks. Inner City Press is just giving us a brief boom, 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 boom. This is what's going on. CNN is giving us all of the more detailed things that pertain to the tweets. So that's what we're doing. If you see anybody else doing our style, just know they was in here for a minute. But again, I do say if you're starting a YouTube, if you thought about starting a YouTube, this would be a good time. The next 8 to 10 weeks, you can build you up a little following off of this, because this is about to be in the news every single day. The algorithm is about to go crazy, and that's what we're doing. I'm not ashamed to tell you guys that that's what we're doing. We're covering the Diddy trial. But let's get back to it. What else did Sean pay for? Ventura said cars. Did he give you cash? She said, yeah, but he would take things away depending on how he felt. What else would he take away? My self-confidence. Oh, who would take things away? Ventura said the staff would do it. You see what they're doing? They're trying to set it up, get some sympathy from the jurors. You know what I mean? He would take my self-confidence. Damn, not your self-confidence, baby girl. So Diddy would give her cars. He would give cash, but he'd rather give her materialistic things, so he was able to take it back. And basically, I own you. You can't do nothing without me. You ain't ish because I wasn't ish. You ain't gonna be ish until I say you ish. That's what they're trying to make it seem like for Diddy. Now, of course, the defense is gonna have their day in court, and I believe that they're gonna eat this all the way up. But the prosecution is doing exactly what they need to do, make her seem like an innocent victim that had no idea what was going on in this sick, evil, evil world that they call the entertainment business. Okay, Ventura said, I assume the staff. Defense, objection, Your Honor. The judge said, jury would disregard that last answer. Hey, listen up, you 12 and you 6 alternates. Listen up, disregard that. We don't know if it was the staff or not. This is hearsay. The judge said, disregard it. She said, who looked your laptop and phone? She said the security was going through her laptop and phone. How long would they be gone for? Ventura said, however long I was being punished for. Now, they're saying that she was on punishment and they would take her laptops and their phones. Kurt said alleged arrest just happened in courtroom for someone trying to record the video. Oh man, here we go. I mean, this is what this trial is going to be, man. You got to think all these content creators, and you just got wild motherfuckers anyway. We'll try to find that. I'm trying to keep this stuck on to the trial, but if I can find like a tweet or something that can verify that, I'll definitely read it. Cassie said, my self-worth took a hit. Ventura describes how Combs frequently commented on her appearance. Cassie testified that Sean Diddy Combs was very involved in her physical appearance and started making comments about the way she looked and almost immediately in their relationship. Appearance was very important to him. My appearance, she said, adding that Combs would make comments about her hair, and nails. We had tons of conversations about my body at the time, she testified, that included decisions about breast implants and keeping my shape a certain way, she said. My self worth took a hit for the entirety of their relationship, just trying to establish who I was, who I wanted to be, and who I was allowed to be, Ventura said. And then we got an update. Okay, they flying in. Combs says if Victoria says if Combs disapproved of her, his staff would take her belongings. Okay, so they right behind inner city press. Cassie Ventura testified if Diddy disapproved of her, he had his staff take her belongings. I would get my car taken away. I got kicked out of my house, my apartment. I had jewelry taken away. It was very random depending how he felt, she said. Ventura said there were times when Combs personally took her electronics from her, and other times his security personnel did it. She eventually She'd eventually get these items back. It depends how long I was being punished for, I guess, Ventura said. Sean would give them back to me if I would go to his house. Jewel Mancy. All right, let me see. Yeah, I mean, they say Diddy was on it, wasn't he? What I don't get is if you knew, like, you know what I'm saying, we're not victim shaming or victim blaming or anything. But in my mind, if if I have some stuff and somebody keeps taking my shit, I'm not gonna keep that shit out. My jewelry and stuff, like all the, I'm gonna start putting jewelry off to the side. I'm gonna start putting the tablets and stuff off to the side and start buying more. So I already have me a replacement. You take this, like, well, my parents, they weren't. I won't say my parents weren't smart enough, but like when we used to be on punishment, they didn't know that me and my brother were buying like controllers from people at school. So when they took our controllers and stuff, because my mom, when video games first came out, she would just take the controllers thinking we wouldn't have access to the game, not knowing all we had to do was buy another controller. We get controllers from people at school. So even as a kid, I knew if my parents are going to take one thing, let me get another one to replace the one that they take. And I just got to be cautious. Keep the door cracked. When I hear the front door open up, front door, I know take the controller. Now, that wasn't going on back in the early 90s, but you know what I mean? Taking cell phones. Jeez Louise. What else? Okay, yeah, we're just waiting. Punishment happened. They're saying she was being groomed. Jewel Mancy, J.E. Okay, so let me. We're gonna stick with inner city, but this is the Jewel Mancy page here. It looks like they got. We'll follow them and just see what the hell, what information that they have that's different. 8 minutes ago, what else did Sean pay for? Cars? Did he give you cash? Will you take it? Oh, this looks like she just copying and pasting what inner city press has. So, an arrest in court, someone illegally took a video during the P Diddy trial. They want a protective order for video taken inside of the courthouse. Defendant is not in detention, but two U.S. Marshals are currently overseeing proceedings from the back of a courtroom. So I guess there was an arrest. Like, what fool would try to, like, what are you thinking? You thought you was gonna get away with that? All right, here we go. So, however long she was being punished for. How often were you in contact with Sean's staff? She said daily. Who are in these photos? Christina Coram and Miss Fletcher. What did you call Miss Coram? Ventura said, KK. And who is this? Ventura said, D-Rock. He was Sean's security. Um, Boogie Down says, was she beaten up if she tried to leave? I think in her case against Diddy, I think she did mention she tried to leave and security came and found her and they picked her up and brought her back. Get that out of there because I mean, this is all right, but it looks like they're just copying and pasting what Inner City got. And D-Rock, that's what we need to find. D-Rock. Security guard who pinned Diddy. No, not that one. D-Rock, Diddy security. Diddy forced Cassie to deliver the weapon to D-Rock. What, a Gene Deal, D-Rock? That's what they were calling Gene Deal, D-Rock? I ain't calling that nigga no damn D-Rock. Oh, hold on. Gene Deal. Diddy convinced D-Rock to betray Biggie that night. So D-Rock is a different security guard. How frequently were you in Sean's residence? Ventura said all the time. Did they all have safes? Ventura said yes. What did you observe in them? Ventura said cash, jewelry, cameras, videotapes, guns in New York, LA, Miami, and Alpine, Jersey. New York Times has more details, like as far as what the arrest or what's going on in the case. Because I don't have like New York Times. I think I can get my. I think I got one more article this week that I can look up. Or are you talking about on Twitter? So Cassie's saying that Diddy had guns, jewelry, cameras, videotapes. We already went over that. Taking the belongings. Okay, the New York Times definitely has more in depth. All right, hey, come on, man, New York. Let me just slide on this one day, just this one day, please. So Julia Jacobs is reporting from the courthouse. All right, so we went over the appearance. The times in the relationship, Cassie said Combs' security will take devices, including her laptops. All right. The prosecution has shifted to focus on associates assigned Combs, with whom Cassandra Ventura had contact. One is Tony Fletcher, a former Bad Boy executive. Ventura says she discussed financial issues with her. Another is Christina Coram, who was once chief of staff for Combs and knew the ins and out of Ventura's schedule. Ventura is now identifying members of Combs' security detail. All right, good. Now we're getting somewhere. So we got New York Times has entered the chat, guys. So we got Inner City Press. We got CNN updates. We're giving us more in depth on the Inner City Press tweets. And then we have the New York Times, which is giving us stuff that we didn't even get detailed in either one of them. All right, cool. So that's how we're working, man. We'll relay this thing. Here we go. Do you recall an incident between Sean and Suge Knight? Ventura said, yes. We were having a freak off in LA. D-Rock came inside and said Suge was down at a diner. Sean drove over there. What was your reaction? Ventura said, I cried. I said, don't do something stupid. So in the middle of a freak off, oiled up, niggas in the house, meat swinging, D-Rock, Diddy. Damn, it's funky in here. Suge is down the street. Diddy said, Suge who? Suge Knight. So Diddy allegedly gets up. He grabs a Thule and they head down to the diner. This is in the middle of a freak off. Now, they all on the bad drugs, good drugs. We don't know what they on, but this is the middle of the freak off. Diddy, I heard Diddy was slipping, trying to get up and grab the gun and go see Suge Knight at the diner. Cassie's in there. Oh, Diddy, don't do nothing stupid. And this is all during the middle of a freak off. So it's oily in there. It's hot in there. There's probably a videotape going on in there. Diddy grabs a gun, and we know Diddy is infamous for running around with just a towel on, no drawers. So I don't know if he got dressed or he just hopped in the car and went down to the diner. But they were trying to pull up on Suge Knight. Here it begins. It's getting spicy. All right, here we go. This is what we've been looking for. This is what y'all came here for. Don't cover your ears now. Okay. Were you ever handed a gun? Ventura said, yes, I was. We were doing a club downtown LA. We taking mushrooms. I was high. I was told to put the gun in my bag. I was freaking out. Who was present? A driver, security, Sean. Now remember, Diddy and J-Lo, Diddy allegedly had the gun in the club. Shine went down for it. Allegedly, Diddy gave him $1 million to keep it hush. And he also opened up a scholarship for it. So what we're seeing here is Cassie said that she had a Thule on him. She also said that Diddy went to go pull up on Suge Knight. This is what we came here for. Don't act shy now, guys. Tell your supervisor to back off. It's getting serious right now. It's getting serious. Let's see what the New York Times got to say about this, because this is getting real. Where's the latest update? 10 minutes ago. This case is not just about the conduct of Sean Combs, but about the conduct of his employees as well. The government is beginning to get into these details by identifying individuals who Cassandra Ventura says follow Combs' orders, including a security guard by the name of D-Rock. Ventura says he was one of the people who went looking for her when Combs did not know her location. So, Boogie, there you go. She's saying that the security would come and find her if Diddy didn't know where she was at. So they was high off of mushrooms. Cassie had a Thule. It was put in her bag. Oh, man. Come on, man. What we got? We got a CNN update. Prosecutors asked Ventura about her relationship with Combs' assistants. She testified that in the first 3 years of her relationship with Combs, one of his assistants would regularly help Ventura with her finances. Ventura says she spoke with another assistant on a daily basis about everything from scheduling to what kind of mood Combs was in. She knew a lot about personal things, Ventura said. Now, this is the same thing that kind of went on with Epstein, with Ghislaine Maxwell. She knew what type of mood Diddy was going to be in. So she was basically prepping Cassie. Hey, he's in a good mood today. Go over there smiling. He's not in a good mood. Go over there smiling. Never frown. You know what I mean? So that's what they're trying to build. That Diddy was controlling. And not only was he controlling, but he controlled everyone around him. Another time, I saw them get dressed and grab guns and leave in an SUV. How long were they gone for? Ventura said 30 to 40 minutes. Let me switch topics. How soon into the relationship did Sean mention voyeurism to you? She said the first 6 months or a year. Now, another thing, another thing we got to look at. This is the feds. This is the feds. So listen to what I'm about to say. If Diddy beats these cases, guess what? It ain't over. When the feds did their sweep, they said they found guns with serial numbers scratched off. Now, with Cassie starting to explain all of this and putting it on record, they were riding off with guns. There was an alleged shooting that happened at a studio, according to Little Rodney, which is a whole nother case against Diddy. What they're doing is building other criminal cases off of these testimonies. So let's just say hypothetically Diddy was to beat these 5 charges. Well, guess what? We turn around with a new indictment, scratched off serial numbers, shootings tied to different things. So the feds, they're not, you can say they're not playing fair, but they're just playing the game that you stepped into. But you see what I'm saying? Now they're establishing, what does this gun got to do with anything? Yeah, it could be putting fear in somebody, but if there's a crime that's connected, she could say they went to this location and what? Oh, there's a police report there. Let's open up an investigation. You see what I'm saying? Let's say if he would have went to the diner and Suge was there. Let's say a gun went off. Boom, boom, boom. What if one of those guns is a gun that he still has? You see what I'm saying? So right now, the feds, they're like, let's just say what we would do if he beats these 5 charges. Slap him with another damn criminal charge. We got guns. We got scratched off serial numbers. They're hey, no, it's not part of it. It's not part of it. So guess what? If he's not being charged for it right now, they can always charge him again in a whole nother case. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a racketeering conspiracy, meaning that he used his enterprise to pay for this transportation and prostitution, this sex trafficking. You see what I'm saying? So that's what this is. But remember, it's not a RICO with charges up under it. It's a racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of transportation and prostitution, and then 2 counts of ex trafficking. So all 5 of these are individual charges. It's not trumped up under just that one RICO. It's a RICO conspiracy, and that's just the enterprise of using Bad Boy Records, Sean Combs LLC, Love LLC. Now that's if they can prove that one of these companies may have paid for a hotel room or something of that nature. So that's why you got to remember there are 5 individual charges in this case. So he might beat 2, or let's just say he beats 3 or 4. He still has one that he might not beat. You see what I'm saying? And then let's say if he does beat all this, well, guess what? Cassie has told us about you having guns. We did a raid and we got guns with scratched off serial numbers, allegedly. I don't know if that was a legitimate report that came out. But now, okay, Cassie is listing off crimes that may have been committed, times, locations, dates. Let's line it up with these weapons. Let's do the forensic on them. Do they line up with anything that we may have overlooked? And then boom, a whole new charges come along. You see what I'm saying? So this is the feds, guys. This isn't your local PD. You know when people, man, the feds are watching, nigga, that's the local PD. They are not the feds. You see what the feds are doing? They setting shit up just in case. Oh, you beat these 5, you had them high power lawyers. Well, guess what? We didn't took you to court. You just sat in jail for a year. We got more charges, a whole nother case that just rolled in. But that's just me thinking. You know what I'm saying? If I was the feds, fuck it. You're not beating me. If my job is to lock your ass up, I'm locking you up. But that's why I can never be my job, because I might take it too serious. All right, let's get these updates. Ventura described seeing cash, jewelry, tapes, and guns in Combs' safes. Cassie said Diddy had a safe in every one of his homes. She said she would occasionally access them to get his money or to get money or something else for him. There was always cash, jewelry, sometimes tapes, SD cards, cameras, guns, depending on the safe. Now, we did have the raid. They did say they found some tapes and stuff. Ventura testified she saw guns in Combs' residences. Ventura recalls Combs' rivalry with Suge Knight. Cassie testified that Diddy had rivals with former rap mogul Marion Suge Knight, the former Death Row co-founder who was sentenced to prison for death of a man during a hit-and-run incident on the set of the movie Straight Outta Compton. One time, she and Combs had a freak-off at one of his homes in L.A., where one of his security guards came in and mentioned that Knight was at a diner close by. They quickly packed up and drove down there, she said. I was crying. I was screaming. Don't do anything stupid. I was just really nervous for them. I didn't know what it meant, what they were going to do. Man, they taking us all over this. Okay, so how old were you? I'm guessing this is when the freak off happened before they went to go see Suge. How old were you? Ventura said 22. Why did you agree to try a freak? Oh, this is when it first started. Why did you agree to try a freak off? Ventura said, good question. I wanted to make him happy. Where was the first freak off at? She said one of his homes in Los Angeles. 2A627. Who is this? That was the first escort. Do you know his name? Ventura said, no. I'll call him the first escort. Were you aware he was paid? Ventura says, yes, to dance and to have intercourse with me. What drugs did you take? Ecstasy and alcohol before things started. Her first freak off, she was aware that there was a man that was paid to dance and to have intercourse with her. Now, can the defense prove that this didn't happen? That's a good question. Can they? But you guys were asking about P. Tushin. Guess what? Where did Cassie live at? New York. When did she move to LA? After this first freak off to be closer to Diddy. So the first freak off was bought and paid for allegedly by Diddy, according to Cassie. There's your transportation of P. Tushin. You see what I'm saying? You see how like they got these different charges. It's not just falling up under RICO. These are individual charges. You might not get the racketeering. We might not be able to prove that Bad Boy Records did something, but we can prove that you flew Cassie in. We can prove that you paid an escort to have intercourse. We got tapes showing that everything that they talking about, you sitting in the corner with a robe on, beating your meat with a fucking bandana on. We can prove that. You see what I'm saying? This like it's still early in the trial. I'm definitely not saying that Diddy is going to be found guilty of any of this, but I'm saying what they're trying to prove is really not much that they have to prove. It's just let's just keep building on it. And again, there's still potential for a gun case or whatever. We don't know what all they found in there. There could be blackmailing. Why did Diddy have these? It's all kinds of stuff that's going. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy, guys. But I'm just reading. I'm just reading the facts. I'm just reading what we got here. Now, all of this is up under oath. See, I can get on here and lie. They can't take the stand and lie. I can get on here and say anything. I can get on here and say I slapped Diddy because Diddy was talking about take that, and I ain't taking shit. So I slapped the hell out of Diddy. See, I can get on here and lie. You feel me? But they can't. I'm just reading what they wrote, guys. Come on, man. I thought the New York Times was going to be updating on its own. I'm trying to keep you guys entertained because we got all this in between time because he's at court tweeting it, and we just waiting. All right, here we go. Did you disguise your appearance? Ventura said. Sean said we would disguise ourselves. I wore a masquerade mask. What was a session in a freak off? Until the escort finished. How many sessions with the first escort? At least 2. How did you feel? Ventura said, I was high, so I didn't feel much. Dirty and confusion, and that he was happy with me. Okay. Why did you feel you couldn't say no, Cassie? That's how they're talking to her. This is exactly how they're talking to her. Why did you feel like you couldn't say no to him? Cassie said, I didn't want to. I didn't want to make him angry or upset. He shared this part of himself with me. And she's rubbing her belly at the same time. You know what I mean? So I I didn't want to make him angry with me. Now the women jurors over there, because it's 8 men and 4 women that are on the jury. So the women over there, they tearing up right now. The prosecution doing their thing. Now the guys, they probably ain't showing no emotion. They probably sitting there, we just listening to it like, okay. That was some fucked up shit though. If what she's saying is true. Now I gotta hear the defense to try to dispute this, you know what I mean? But hearing that the defense has already said, yeah, Diddy gets high off of drugs and the bad drugs, he gets to whooping people's asses. If your defense is, yeah, we whoop niggas' asses when we get drunk and high, I'm looking like, nigga, that means when you get drunk, anything goes. You know what I mean? That was a terrible defense. But we're not on trial for a DV or abuse. What up, Jackie? One new update. New York Times is taking they sweet on time. All right. Cassie Ventura testifies about a time in which she said she and Combs were having a freak off and went, okay, we already went over this. Yeah, so the lawsuit was in 2023. Let me see what we got here. She was more than a golden shower. She was like a golden like teacup or something. Ventura says she was shocked when Combs first mentioned voyeurism. The prosecutor, Emily Johnson, turned her questioning back to voyeurism. Cassie says Sean Diddy presented it to her within the first 6 months to a year of dating as a fantasy he had. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is like watching somebody else do your old lady. This wasn't a fantasy of his. This is something he was already doing. Like, you're not just, you know what, let me try. Now, you've been doing this for a while. That's not just something you did. Like, you know what, let me try this. Someone had to introduce this to you, like tell you, oh, this is what I be doing. And then he was like, let me do it. He will want to see me with another male having intercourse. Ventura testified. He also brought up swinging, she said. Ventura said she was shocked when Combs first told her about it. I didn't know how to react. I didn't want to upset him. If I said that that it scared me, or I said anything outside of okay, let's try it, she said. All right, we getting into the nitty gritty though, but how did it make you feel? Okay, so that's we got one more update over here in New York. Okay. So this is a little more in depth. For their first freak off, Sean Combs arranged for a dance from a Las for a, see, here we go. For their first freak off, Sean Combs arranged for a dancer from Las Vegas to have sex with Cassandra. She testifies they took X and drank alcohol. She says, adding that she felt dirty and confused, but she felt she couldn't uh, say no to the continuing the encounters. I didn't want to make him upset. I didn't want to make him angry and regret telling me about the experience. After the freak off started, Ventura testifies they became almost weekly. Now, look, for their first freak off, Combs arranged for a dancer from Las Vegas. Over here, the first freak off took place in Los Angeles. What up, JoJo? You see what I'm getting at here? That's 4 hours ago. Where's the... And where's it at? We just read it. $3 minutes ago. How frequent did the freak offs become? She said weekly for a consistent amount of years. When was your last one? 2017, 2018. How long were you awake during the freak offs? I never slept. I took drugs, X, Molly, and cocaine. Yeah, I'm trying to find the message. Let me see. So she said she never slept. Do you recall all of the freak offs? That would be impossible. Did you want to stop? Yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. She sobs. Did you tell him you didn't want to? She said yes. Transportation of prostitution. Here we go. Where was the first freak off? Where was the first freak off? Ventura said one of his homes in Los Angeles. Let's go over here. For the first freak off, Sean Combs arranged for a dancer from Las Vegas to have sex with Cassandra. Transportation of prostitution. The first freak off was in LA with a nigga from Las Vegas that Diddy allegedly arranged. Transportation of prostitution. Again, it's not a RICO that's covering all of this. It's a racketeering conspiracy, and then 2 counts of transportation of prostitution, 2 counts of X trafficking. You see what I'm saying? Like, now it's going to be up to the jurors on how they interpret this. But of course, when you get to the closing arguments, the prosecution's going to say, well, this is what they mean by X trafficking. This is what they mean by transportation of prostitution. And this was clearly this. And they're going to give these examples later on. Now, I don't know what the defense is going to, I guess the defense is going to try to discredit Cassie and make it seem like she was a willing participant. But how do you explain the prostitution? You see what I'm saying? Like, you might be able to get those lesser charges for the transportation. You know what I mean? But what would the defense say? Well, you was willing. Yeah, I was willing, but you still was transportation of prostitution. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be tough. All right, let's see. Let's go back. We got more updates. Okay. She told Diddy she didn't want to do it. She said yes. Then Ventura says, I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. Were you able to express your concerns to him? Objection, Your Honor, leading. All right. Ms. Johnson, rephrase that. Calm down over there, defense. I got it. This is my courtroom. I got it. Rephrase the question. Why would you talk to him gently? I didn't want him to be angry. This is what we want right here. I want to hear some objections. We ain't trying to hear all of this. We trying to hear all of it. We ain't trying to hear all of this. Oh, yeah, I like this. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is good. This is better than being in the courtroom. Do we got anything else here? No, that's it. We're just waiting right now. Hey, this is a good. Hey, this is a good judge here. This one right here, they might reconsider putting federal cases on TV. This is good because he ain't objection. He say, "Hey, I got it." Rephrase the question. All right, defense, calm down. I got it. I got it. Make sure you. Hey, time out. Time out. This is a warning for both sides. Prosecution, defense is a warning for both sides. Make sure you stand up when you addressing my court, all right? All that sitting down and objecting, we not going to have that. If I got to say it again, I'm holding someone in contempt. This is federal court. This ain't the local state for traffic tickets. This is not the local, you know what I'm saying, municipal fucking auditorium that you go to for non-moving violations. This is a federal courthouse. We will stand when we address the court, all right? Let's make that clear. Now, this is a federal case, so there's not going to be any cameras in there. It don't have anything to do with New York. It's just a federal case. That's just law. Okay. Talk to him gently. Molly and X Kane. Let's see what NY Times said. Cassandra testified that the freak-offs could last 2 to 3 days with no sleep, despite her desire to get rest. Drugs help keep them awake, she says. Choking back tears. She testifies that the encounters made her feel disgusting and humiliated. She says Sean Combs was a different person during those events. His eyes go black. The version of him I was in love with was no longer there, she testified. Objection, Your Honor! Objection! My client, Diddy, has hazel eyes. There's no way that his eye could go black. She said his eyes go black. He wasn't a different person. That nigga was high as hell. That nigga's eyes are dilated. That nigga's eyes, his motherfucking pupils were gone. Talking about his eyes go black. The version of him I was in love with was no longer there, she tells us. This is a fucking scary movie now. This is getting dark. Or we just went over that. Oh, here we go. We got some details of what actually happened in the freak-off. Let me see what we got here. Brought it up gently. Okay. What is this? Ventura said an email between, oh, here we go. An email between me and Sean. What did you call him? Pop Pop. Why? Ventura said he asked me what I called my grandfather. I did it, but now I think it was disrespectful. Yeah, I don't. Pop Pop. What kind of weird shit is that? All right. So it says, Ventura says Combs directed every detail, including the lighting. So here we go into the freak-offs. Now, initially, when we read this, it was all just in the documents that the civil case was against Diddy before he settled it the very next day, after he told us all that she was lying, and he went ahead and settled it anyway. But here we go. Cassie says She's testifying about the first time she participated in a freak off. She was about 22 years old when Combs first asked her to have a freak off. When asked why she agreed to the freak off, she replied, "Good question. I wanted to make him happy." She then testified Combs arranged for a male escort to participate and that they took X and drank alcohol. She said she took narcotics Combs gave her before they started. Ventura said Combs managed every detail, even what she wore, including masks to disguise their appearances. Every freak off was like directed by Sean. Like he knew specifically where he wanted everyone to be, the lighting and such, Ventura said. So over that first session, we just kind of like ended up getting closer and closer. Then eventually had to put oil on each other. Now remember, the guy testified yesterday that Diddy told them to get closer and put more oil, more oil, more oil on the body. I was high, so there wasn't much feeling, she said, but recalls feeling dirty and confusion. But she said she felt like, okay, he's really happy with me. Okay, where we at? Damn, we just passed it up? Or did he delete it? There's one that just said like 2 minutes ago. What is all his Diddy? Wait, did all his Diddy tweets just disappear? 4 hours ago. Yeah, are y'all seeing that? 57 minutes. Are y'all seeing like, hey, watch? Are like the Diddy tweets to show up, but then they'll disappear. $4 minutes ago. You see that? Like, where the hell? Sign the petition. Can anybody else look on Inner City Press? Hold on, let me get on my phone because it's showing up with a tweet from 4 minutes ago, but then it disappears. Like right here, the Shine calling them Pop Pop. What the hell? They trying to stop us from reading these tweets. Hold on. Let me go. If anybody can go to Inner City Press and see if the Diddy tweets are popping up, because I can see it when we refresh, but then it disappears. What the hell? Hold on. Maybe the court told him, hey, quit tweeting, mother effer. Yeah, see, on my phone, I got it from 5 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Why ain't it showing it on here? All right, so hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out because I have it on my phone. So it's the email between the two, and then 3 minutes ago it says, "What did you write?" Ventura said, uh, "What did you write?" Ventura says, "I really need to fuck." Why am I spelling it out? She said she want to fuck. The attorney said, "Why did you write that?" Ventura said, "Because I wanted to be with him. I'll read your messages. I'll read your messages. You read yours." So the attorney's about to act like Shine, and then Cassie's going to read her responses. So the attorney's acting like Shine. "You don't want to do anymore?" Ventura said, "I'm so predictable." Come on, man. What the hell's going on with my Twitter, man? Okay, so here we go. She's not just a victim. I doubt that. But that's what I got to keep reiterating this, guys. This case isn't about her being a willing participant. The charges are transportation of prostitution. So even if she was willing, it's still transportation of prostitution, which is illegal, and that's what they're charging them for. You see what I'm saying? They're not charging him for prostituting, like pimping her out. You see what I'm saying? Then another charge, the other two charges are ex trafficking. So even if she did, like she admitted that she participated in these freak offs to make Diddy happy. They not saying that she isn't a victim. They saying, yeah, maybe she participated in some of these freak offs, but then you were taking it too far. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we got to look at it. We got to quit looking at it as, oh man, Cassie's a victim. We're looking at her getting. It's not like it don't have anything to do with her getting beat, like her taking drugs or anything. It's just transfer. They're just trying to prove that this is what Diddy was doing. Now, is it on a grander scale? Who knows? We're gonna be here. We got 8 weeks, 5 days, 40 days. This is day 2. We got at least 38 more days. Diddy got 9 lawyers. They gonna cook her. I mean, they could. That's what I'm saying though. I definitely want to see her cook. We'll continue on with this, but cooking her does nothing for Diddy. all the prosecutor got to do is just show, yeah, Diddy was paying for prostitutes in different cities. Diddy was flying people out, having sex with them. They could cook her all they want. They could get up there and say, Cassie, you're a whore. Guess what? That ain't got nothing to do with that prostitution charge. Though, Cassie, you wanted to do it. That ain't got nothing to do with paying for sex. You see what I'm saying? So they can get up there and cook her all they want. That ain't got nothing to do with the case. You see what I'm saying? Like, prostitution don't matter what she did. You know, when like motherfuckers get arrested for prostitution, the hooker don't get the same amount of time as the nigga that was paying for it. The hooker might go to jail for like 6 months, get probation, get off. But if you the nigga paying for some sex and go to jail, they locking your ass up for like a year. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why it is like that. Like, all right, man, I'm paying for sex. You get arrested because you were the one paying for it. But wait, what about the person that was giving the sex? Oh man, give him 6 months probation, get him out the court. But your ass paid for it. You got to go to jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way the law is, man. The law is terrible. You know what I mean? It's like it's all kinds of fucked up. Let me see. Where we go? Why did you write that? She said, I really needed to F. She said, I'll read your message, you read yours. Sean said, you don't want to do anymore. Ventura said, I'm so predictable. What did you think this meant? Ventura said that he knew I didn't want to do the freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. Why? To not make him angry. He could be violent. Where'd you get your outfit? Pleasure chest everywhere. What? We got to fill in the blanks here. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's admitting that she was with the freak offs. She said she didn't want to do them anymore. But that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, you can cook her all you want. You can say she wasn't a victim. She's telling you right now that she was participating. She's not denying that she was in freak offs. She's not denying that she did freak offs to make Diddy happy. She's saying at a point she didn't want to do that shit no more. She's saying at a point she was drugged up. You see what I'm saying? She never said that I was a victim of the freak offs. She was in freak offs. She was in her case. She even said she was picking the guys that she knew that Diddy liked. So she never denied that she was in these freak offs. She just said at a certain point she didn't want to do it no more. Diddy was controlling her. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta kind of separate all of that. Now, that's not our job. That's the prosecution's job. But I'm just trying to explain these charges aren't Cassie being a victim. You see what I'm saying? Combs wanted to call her by her grandpa name. All right, here we go. The moment Ventura broke down in tears on the stand, asked what she enjoyed, if anything about the freak offs, Cassie Ventura broke down in tears. Oh my goodness, they doing it, guys. The time spent with him, she said. She added that. It felt like it was the only time she could get with him. I felt disgusting. I was humiliated. I didn't have the words to put together at the time. How horribly I really I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I gently tried to bring it up to him. I don't want to do the freak offs anymore, Sean. I don't. I didn't want to upset him or make him angry, but I didn't even want to share them. She said, when I would just tread lightly when he brought it up, sometimes I would email him about it. I didn't want anything bad to happen to me. So Cassie's on the stand crying right now, guys. Now, this is good for the prosecution. An innocent woman, pregnant, went through all of this with the big black guy over here with the black eyes that we know be whooping on. I'm not gonna say bitches. We know a nigga that be whooping on women. This is good for the prosecution. Now it's gonna be tough for the defense because just like I think it was somebody said, making a pregnant woman cry on the stand is like, okay, y'all applying that pressure. We wanna like, this is our entertainment. We want to see that pressure applied by the defense. That's why I want Brian Steele to get up there. Brian Steele be cooking. I want to see Brian get up there. No Diddy, but apply that pressure. So now she's on the stand crying. Hey, thanks, Pookie. Pookie said, damn, bro, lost me, disrespectful with these reenactments, especially after seeing it. Well, hey, it is what it is, my brother. I'm doing what I got to do to entertain. I'm reading off what's on the screen. Now, don't get mad at me because I'm not changing up anything. I'm reading line for line what was said. When you watch reenactments on TV, are you offended by those reenactments? No, you're not. All I'm doing is reading and I'm giving my perspective on the case. Now, if you were here in the beginning, I told you I don't have any dog in this fight and I personally don't care. Now, if you don't want to hear none of this stuff, then you don't have to hear any of it. But I'm going to reenact this how I think and what I'm visualizing on the stand. Now, if they didn't want us to know that Cassie was crying, they would not have put this on here. But they put this on here because once you read it, you're already visualizing it. So regardless to what I do on here, I'm not making up anything. I'm not changing the narrative. I'm just reading what is on here. It is no different than you watching a TV show where they're reenacting. When you watch true crime and they got people reenacting and getting shot and you're watching it on television, do you turn the TV off because you feel disrespected because they're reenacting what something that happened? No, you don't. You watch it. Now, I appreciate you joining the live, but if you would like to leave, you can do that. But over here, I'm going to read and I'm going to go ahead and act out what I feel is going on in the courtroom. Now, it was all fun and games when we were laughing about the Diddy jokes, but Diddy's up here fighting for his life. When we were laughing about the oil, when we were laughing about the freak off comments, when we were laughing about the judge, was it disrespectful then when we were reenacting what they were doing in the courtroom? No, this is all of our entertainment. I'm not disrespecting Cassie. I'm not saying Cassie was a whore. I'm not saying Cassie was a willing participant and set all of this up and was doing anything negative. I'm reading what is on the screen. Now, if I reenact it, then I reenact it. But if you feel offended by that, I appreciate you saying it, Pookie, but you can go ahead and leave. But I'm going to continue to do this because people are here for entertainment. I'm giving all of the facts. I'm not changing anything up. I'm giving some stuff that I feel like is going on in the case. Now, I knew we would get here, and I understand that, and I respect anyone's feelings like that. But I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm reading exactly what happened right here in the courtroom line for line, black and white. I didn't type this. All I'm doing is reading it. I'm not deviating from what they said. When we said he was calling them Pop Pop, I seen LOLs in the chat for being called Pop Pop. So if you feel disrespected, you feel disrespected. But I'm reading and I'm gonna reenact what I want to reenact. You know what I mean? You're not gonna come and tell me, hey, all right, cool. But this is what I do. Let me see. Real quick, I'm Modi J. We here for the next 38 days. Let me see. We ain't got no more updates. See, I don't like being serious. I wanna get into this, you know what I mean? If you want the legal, like the seriousness, I mean, go to like Law and Crime or something. All right, where we at? Damn, he going in right now. All right, here we go. What does this mean? Okay, where'd you get your outfit? Pleasure, chest, elsewhere. Did you get piercings? She said yes. Sean came with me. This man, Diddy was there everywhere. Which of his homes did you have freakouts in? You mean freak alls? What is a freak out? We need to know. The freak out is a whole nother level. Ventura said Miami, New York. What other homes? Ventura said my homes, all but Studio City. In what other cities? Atlanta, Ibiza. In what hotels in NY did you have freak offs? She said in the Trump Hotel, Gramercy, the Intercontinental. That's where that's the other one. This is in New York. The incident happened in the LA one. She said yes, the one on 44th Street. She said elsewhere, yes. Mandarin Oriental, Fontainebleau. What names were used? Jackie Star. I used Frank Black. So Jackie Star, so when they were booking these rooms, Jackie Star was the name that they used. Frank Black was the name. And then it says, oh shit, here we go. Well, we already kind of knew about the freak off supplies because of last night. What supplies for the freak offs? Ventura said Astroglide, which we found out was a water-based lubricant, baby oil, Diddy's favorite, condoms. Who brought the supplies? Ventura said security. Sean's assistants. Which brand of baby oil? Johnson. How was it used? Sean said you need to be glistening. A little a little drop of baby oil, it'll get you right. A little drop of baby oil, you can put like a little drop of baby oil on. You can get both arms. You know what I'm saying? Another drop, you can get both legs. You good to go. Now, if you go outside, that sun gonna get on your ass. You might start cooking. But Diddy said, nah, Playboy. And you know he had that toothpick. You know Diddy had that toothpick. Nah, Playboy. You need to be glistening. I'm talking about shining, nigga. Hey, man, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm not participating in this, nigga. Like, too much. You need to be glistening, Playboy. Nigga, what? You need to be glistening? Hey, man. What the fuck you mean glistening, nigga? And mind you, Diddy's in the corner with a robe on and a bandana covered his mouth. Girl, you wanna come to my hotel? Like, Diddy's in the corner watching you. And out of nowhere, you just hear a nigga say, glistening, Playboy. There ain't enough oil. Use the whole bottle. And I could pretty much say that Diddy probably like grabbed 2 bottles of baby oil and was like, nah, glistening, baby, party, nigga. Like, that's what Diddy did. That's what Diddy did. So Diddy probably grabbed like the baby oils and like, nah, glistening. Yeah, you know how Diddy like it, because Cassie did say he set up everything from the lighting to the different positions to the camera angles. They said the David Phillips yesterday said Diddy sits in the corner with a robe and a bandana on getting off. There's cameras in the room. I'm talking about they may have had the same cameras that they had in the Matrix when Neo did the little dodging the bullet type shit. I'm talking about they saying Diddy had panoramic. They're all around the room. That's what they saying. Word on the street. But we need glistening, Playboy. Hey, Diddy. Hey, time out, man. I just came here to do what me and Cassie got to do. We ain't come here to do all that extra shit now. Trying to make Diddy out to be goddamn R. Kelly with the Zorro mask on, man. This is fucking wild, man. All right, it says when Sean Diddy Combs would get upset, he could be a scary person and could get violent, Cassie Ventura testified. Ventura went on to describe the ways she would alter her appearance for a freak off. She said she would regularly get a wax, a tan, and her nails done. Her nails had to be painted white or with a white French tip per Combs' instructions. She said she also described getting piercings as Combs' suggestion. Ventura said she would wear see-through netted outfits and extremely high heels. What are extremely high heels? What do we think? Is 6 inches, 7? So that's the last thing we've seen, the glistening Playboy. Okay. Where were the freak offs where you ran out of baby oil? Objection, Your Honor. This is irrelevant. You also mentioned Astroglide. Same objection, irrelevant. Sidebar, both of y'all come up here. So there was a freak off. There was a freak off that they ran out of baby oil. There was a freak off that they ran out of baby oil. The defense said objection, hell no. Because if there was a freak off that they ran out of baby oil, that means they was on some freaky ass shit for multiple days. Because we know Diddy keeps 1,000 supply. So the defense was like, nah, objection. He a freaky nigga, but he ain't a freaky ass nigga. Objection. The judge said, come up here. How freaky are we about to get? My bad. Let me not reenact this stuff because I don't want to come off as disrespectful for reading. A nigga learn how to read and you come off as disrespectful because you're reading. Let me not be disrespectful. Where were the freak offs that you ran out of baby oil? Objection, Your Honor. I don't want to be disrespectful, guys. The judge said, sidebar, nigga, how freaky is this about to get? The judge said, how freaky is this about to get? Yeah, they had the Astroglide. They had the Astroglide. They had the slip and slide. They had Lakers in 5. This must be where the soap comes in. Shit, I don't, man. To be honest, there's no telling where this trial is about to take us. There's no telling where this trial is about to take us, man. The encounters were very choreographed, experiences directed by Combs, so we already got that. We looked up the Astroglide yesterday. I got you though. But see, look, Cassandra says she was listing places where Sean Combs had freak offs. They occurred mostly in hotels, she says. New York, Miami, LA, Atlanta, Vegas, Ibiza, Turk and Caicos. She said that sometimes she says she sometimes booked the hotel rooms, as did Tony Fletcher, a bad boy employee, racketeering conspiracy using the enterprise to book rooms. They will book under pseudonyms Ventura testified, including Frank Black and Frank White. Oh man, they were doing that's disrespectful. Frank White, man, that's what Biggie was going by. So this is Astroglide right here, personal lubricant. The lube of your dreams. Indulge in pleasure and spice up the bedroom with Astroglide personal lube. Learn more. Looking for a new lube? Never use lube? Find out what you're missing. Now, this looks a little expensive. So Diddy was like, billionaires and millionaires, you know how they get rich? They cut their expenses. So this Astroglide looks like it's a little expensive. Now, remember, Diddy's lawyer said they bought baby oil in bulk, and Costco said, nigga, we don't sell bulk baby oil. So what Diddy thought was, all right, we having these freak offs. What's my return on investment? If I'm spending $20 a bottle, let's just say $15 a bottle on lube, 15 bottles, I can get 5 to 6 bottles of Johnson & Johnson baby oil. We're going to switch up from the Astroglide and we're going to go to the baby oil. And that's where the baby oil situation came in. He's cutting the expenses. These freak offs can get very, very wild. So let's see what this sidebar was about. Of course, they're not going to tell us. We were just talking about Astroglide. So was OT. How was it used? Ventura said it was a lubricant. She said, if you ran out, what next? We call either staff or the bell desk. Give them a tip. Were the freak offs lit? Oh, when I read that, were the freak offs lit? I'm thinking, man, this party is lit. But they were talking about like the lighting, was it lit? I was about to say, what? What do you mean were the freak offs lit? They don't sound like they was lit. They sound freaky. But they were talking about, was there like actual light in there? Initially, it was a candle, strong smelling Glade. Damn, Diddy, you using regular Glade ass goddamn candles, man? You ain't had no real money? That's what I thought, man. My bad, guys. I thought they were they lit? It's lit. Travis Scott voice, but they were talking about was there light in there. Now they said they were using just regular candles. You know what I'm saying? Strong smelling candles. That's when you know a candle is cheap. If it's too strong smelling, it's a cheap candle that maybe your kid made in arts and craft. We made candles when we were younger. You put the wick in there, have it on a pencil, and you let it sit overnight. And yeah, man, those candles are trash. How much of a tip do you guys think that they were given for to go run off and get some lube? That's what I'm saying. He could have got a Yankee or something. What up, Young Trope? See, now they're giving us all the details, like details we wasn't even thinking about. So they got candles in there. Man, all that baby oil in there is going to have a little smell to it, man. All right. Oh, man, here we go. So Cassie says Diddy asked her to get into a blown up pool full with baby oil inside in a hotel room. She said she was wearing her clothes and shoes and didn't want to. But at that point, I couldn't say no because she was worried about his temper. Something that Sean wanted to happen. That's what was going to happen, she testifies. This nigga had a blown up swimming pool in the hotel room. Do you know how many bottles of baby oil it would take to even fill the bottom of a damn blown up swimming pool? Like if you use one bottle, it's just gonna be like oiling up your pan. You about to cook something. But to fill up a damn baby, like a swimming pool, Regardless to if Diddy beats, regardless if this nigga beats this case, dog, you can't be seen in public with this nigga. What do you do with all that baby oil? You can only put so much baby oil on your body before the oil start oiling and oil off your body. Like, she had now when I was telling y'all where he said glistening Playboy, I told y'all Diddy seemed like the type of nigga that's gonna grab the damn oil bottles and pour it all like, I said glistening Playboy, more oil. This nigga had a blown up. Now what? Now what? What y'all gonna say? I'm being disrespectful because this nigga got a blown up swimming pool in a fucking. First of all, who the fuck is bringing a swimming pool to a damn hotel room, let alone filling that bitch up with baby oil? Let me guess. Regular niggas do this shit? Hell no. Who go to Walmart, get a swimming pool, and bring that bitch back. And bring 1,000 bottles and tip the motherfucking bellboy to get more oil. More oil, damn it. Diddy, we hungry. Fuck that food. Bring the oil. Oh my goodness. This nigga had a blown up. First of all, which one of you freaky ass niggas blew that pool up? Who was in there? Niggas is all out of breath, hyperventilating in there. They done passed out. Diddy over there giving them drugs to wake their ass up. Playboy, glistening time. Cassie, come on out. Like, what the fuck is going on here? The defense is going to have to say something. Cassie, you were lying about that swimming pool. No, I wasn't. Nah, Cassie, you have to take that swimming pool back. The swimming pool did not happen. Your Honor, objection. The swimming pool, first of all, it wasn't a blown up swimming pool. It was the plastic swimming pool. It wasn't a blown up one. Yeah, who was in there? Get there 2-3 hours before Diddy to blow up that fucking swimming pool. Nigga, I'm not blowing up no swimming pool. Cassie then said, deep into her testimony about the X encounters known as freak-offs at the center of the prosecution's case, Cassie described them as elaborate X marathons with another man that fulfilled Combs' desire. She testified that the freak-offs quickly made her feel disgusted and humiliated. Combs was not receptive of her concerns. Combs didn't give a fuck. He had a swimming pool. All right, we know about the aliases. What will I just tell y'all during the sidebar? Objection, Your Honor. What did I just tell you? I knew the judge was gonna ask them. Wait a minute. All right, y'all, both of y'all come up here. Approach my bench right now. All right, listen up. This shit's getting a little out of hand, and it's only day 2. We got at least 8 full weeks. How freaky is this testimony gonna be? Your Honor, it's just beginning. What do you mean it's just beginning? Let me just say this. I ain't trying to spoil nothing. Swimming pool. Swimming pool is all I'm gonna say. Are we talking Olympic size swimming pool? We talking outside? What we talking about? This nigga Diddy is a menace, Your Honor. I'm talking swimming pool in a hotel room. And get this, they ain't skinny dipping in water. I'm talking oil. All right. You be careful what you're going with this. Oh my goodness, man. This man is typing this stuff. We're just reading it. This man is in there typing everything that's coming in across his desk. Okay, so why were you choking? Oh, hey, no, hey, real quick. All right. This is about to get it. All right, hey, what we're about to read here, there's not gonna be any jokes for it, but we gotta read it. So just I think you might want to step away. This isn't even freaky. This is some nasty shit here. Now it says, Cassie, why were you choking? Ventura said, too much urine in my mouth. Who else urinated on you? She said, Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did this happen? Often enough. Dog. This nigga. Which hotel charged the most for the damage in the room? It's probably the hotel with the swimming pool in it. That's crazy. Ventura said the Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Damn, she said back to the urination. The judge said, hey, no, the judge said, all right, hey, yo, time out. Hey, Miss Johnson, only a few more questions. The judge is like, nah, we not doing that, man. The judge is like, we not, there ain't no back to no more urine. We're done with that. The judge said we're not listening to that anymore. The judge, only a few more questions. No more of that shit. This is the feds, guys. This is what the feds do. This ain't no state case. The feds don't give a fuck about the witness. The feds want the nigga sitting over there on the defense side, and they gonna do whatever the hell it takes to get these cases and to win these cases. The judge had to tell her, no more questions about that. You get a few more, no more of that. We don't want to hear nothing else on that. We already, if that happened, then that happened. We ain't got to take it no further than that. You know it's bad when the judge is like, all right, hey, whoa, not back to. Dog. And see, that's what I was trying to explain to Pookie Loke, whoever the hell that was that came in here earlier. I ain't disrespecting nobody. When it's serious shit like this, then yeah, we take the shit serious. Yeah, we were joking around about her crying on the stand. Then that ain't disrespectful. Fucking everybody cries. Shit. I was on this live. I cried when I came over here. Niggas laughed at me because I was happy. But this is fucking ridiculous. Now, if the prosecution is doing this, man, it ain't no telling what they about to do when they start releasing video footage, man. The prosecution is trying to get this nigga Diddy. They trying to put this nigga Diddy head in that swimming pool of oil and make sure he don't come up out that motherfucker. They are trying to bury this nigga, and this is day 2. The judge had to say, time out. Time out. The judge said, nigga, no more. Yeah, why didn't you say no? Like fucking Kirk said, it's kind of hard to say no if you can't speak. If you just told us that you were choking because you had something in your mouth, Where you gonna? But now you guys see what I was saying. You see what I'm talking about, OT? The defense can get up here. They can make her feel as dirty, how bad. They can do whatever they want. They can cook her as much as nothing's worse than hearing that she was choking on that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no more humiliating that you can do to her. So the defense, no matter what, all she got to do is sit up there, answer the questions, cry. There's nothing worse. It got to the point where the judge was like, all right, all that other freaky shit, that's just nasty right there. We can talk about the freaky shit. That's nasty shit. The judge said, no, we good. So the defense is going to, I don't know what they going to do, because the prosecution is like, nah, fuck that. Get back to the urination. The judge had to tell the prosecutor, no, man, like, you got to chill. This is wild. This is fucking crazy. But we here, though. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because one thing about us, we got to continue on. If Cassie is brave enough to get up there, we got to be brave enough to read what's going on here. All right. Ventura said, it was obvious I didn't want to be on the ground being urinated on by two men. Where did you find the escorts? In Craigslist. So wait. It was Diddy and another nigga doing that at the same time? And she's on. They were finding niggas on Craigslist. At one point in time, Craigslist was probably the most dangerous website in the world. Man, you remember back in the early 2000s when Craigslist first jumped off? Because Craigslist was a piece of shit website anyway. It was just goddamn URL links and shit. Craigslist was dangerous. They don't buy nothing off Craigslist. If you buy something off Craigslist, meet them motherfuckers at the police station if you're going to buy something from them. You didn't want to buy nothing off Craigslist. It was so dangerous. Motherfuckers was getting killed. They were finding random niggas off of. There was a website called Backpage. If you know about Backpage, you a wild motherfucker. Now, Craigslist was some bullshit. I mean, you can find some good deals on Craigslist, but it was dangerous. Dangerous as hell. And Diddy at the time wasn't a billionaire, but Diddy was at least 100 million. And they were finding niggas off of Craigslist. The judge said, we'll break here, guys. All right. We got us a break, man. That's Cassie part 2. We got us a break. We're at 5 hours right now. We will be tuning into the Diddy trial every single day. This Friday, we won't have a live because I got other stuff to do. But we will be tuning in to the Diddy case. This is part 2 of Cassie with the prosecution. I think they're going to try to bring in the defense. What time is it? I think they want the defense. It's what? 3 o'clock. So they go till 5. So the defense might get like the last hour and a half to at least start. And that's where we're at.